So planning a massive event usually starts with vision boards and ends with a mild panic attack the second a vendor, quote, hits your inbox.
Oh, absolutely. It is a financial stress test for sure.
Right. Well, today's deep dive is really about taking control of that exact moment. We are pulling insights directly from the Weddizer website, specifically their article section.
Which is just such an incredible resource for, managing event finances and finding the right vendors for your specific niche.
Yeah, totally. So our mission today is figuring out how to negotiate those contracts without actually compromising the quality of your event. Because, I mean, as rigid as those PDF brochures look, the numbers are rarely set in stone.
They really aren't. I mean, the assumption is usually that if it's printed in a glossy brochure, it's absolute, but vendors actually anticipate a budget conversation.
Wait, really? Because my instinct is definitely to go straight on the defensive. Like, if a quote is high, you just want to push back and say, that's out of my range, lower it.
And that is the trap most planners fall into. They approach that conversation like a zero-sum game, where every dollar you save is a dollar the vendor loses.
But the Weddizer articles suggest a total pivot toward transparency, right? Like, instead of attacking the price, you present it as a shared puzzle. You just say, hey, our budget for photography is $2,000. Is there a package that fits?
Yes, and the psychology there is just critical. When you tell a vendor their price is too high, you're inadvertently challenging their professional worth.
Right, which puts them on the defensive immediately.
Exactly. By stating your budget calmly, you shift the dynamic from adversarial to collaborative. You also avoid the trap of demanding flat discounts. I mean, if you force a vendor to slash their baseline rate, human nature dictates they might subconsciously cut corners on the day.
Oh, wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that. So instead of squeezing them on the base price, you negotiate for added value. You're looking for things that have a high perceived value to you, but like a low marginal cost for them. So maybe an extra hour of coverage or a complimentary lighting upgrade or throwing in an engagement shoot.
Yeah, because it costs them relatively little in raw materials or time, but it protects your budget while preserving their premium rate.
Okay, I see the logic there, but I mean, isn't there a risk that asking for an extra hour of photography just makes you look kind of cheap? Especially if they're a premium vendor on a peak Saturday in June.
Well, yeah, if you're competing for peak inventory, you really have no leverage. If their calendar is full, they have zero incentive to play ball.
So what do you do then?
You have to change the variables to manufacture that leverage. Like, if you can't afford the Saturday premium, you pivot to the gaps in their schedule, Friday night, Sundays, or even, a Sunday brunch.
Oh, I love a Sunday brunch wedding.
Right, and you are suddenly targeting a spot where their calendar is completely empty, making them highly motivated to lock in a contract, even with that added value.
Okay, but avoiding a Saturday isn't the only way to create that leverage. Like, if you can't offer them a blank date on their calendar, you can offer them volume. Which brings us to bundling.
Yes, bundling is huge. You find a vendor who handles photos, video, and say the photo booth, all in-house.
And the mechanism behind why vendors offer deep discounts on bundles is purely economical, right?
Completely. Their customer acquisition cost just drops to zero for those additional services.
Wow, so it is significantly cheaper for a company to give you 20% off a photo booth than to spend actual marketing dollars to acquire a totally separate client for that same machine.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Which is why establishing an accurate market baseline is just so crucial before you even start bundling. Like, you aren't getting 3 quotes just to find the cheapest option.
No, you're doing it to define the anchor price.
Right. That's how you know if your preferred vendor is charging a premium for their brand or just matching the current market rate.
And once you have that baseline and the bundle looks good, the final hurdle is the contract itself. Experienced planners know to look past the standard cancellation policies to find where the real hidden margins live.
Oh, like overtime clauses.
The prime example, yes. You have to know whether a vendor charges time and a half incrementally or if they automatically round up to a full billed hour the minute your reception runs literally 5 minutes late.
Ugh, that is a brutal trap. But, knowing how to negotiate also means knowing when not to. The Weddizer site points out a really crucial nuance here.
Which is?
Well, if you're dealing with a highly sought-after vendor for a critical service where quality is the absolute priority, say, The catering or the lead photographer pushing for aggressive bargains can actually sour the professional relationship before the event even begins.
That is so true. Pushing too hard signals that you just don't value their expertise.
Exactly. You want to keep the communication professional, get everything in writing, establish your boundaries, and recognize when it's time to fold, and just accept the market rate for premium talent.
Right, because at the end of the day, you want to create a scenario where both you and the vendor feel like you're winning.
Definitely. So if you're managing finances for a big event, definitely use the Weddizer website to guide your selection and find those niche vendors. Be transparent with your budget from the start, and remember that negotiating is about building a partnership to find mutual value. It's not just hacking away at a price tag.
That's a collaboration for sure.
Yeah. And I want to leave you with a broader thought to chew on before we go. If vendors across this industry are consistently more willing to throw in free extra services, like bonus sessions or extra hours, rather than lower their base rate, what does that actually reveal about the true profit margins built into those initial quotes?
That's a really great question.
Right. And more importantly, how could you apply this value-add psychology to negotiations in your own everyday life? Just think about it the next time you're handed an intimidating price tag.